interiors. It's just so interesting that it's really within walking distance. It's probably, the churches are maybe a half mile from each other, but because they were different villages, you have these two enormous churches to service. Like, why don't you just walk half a mile to church, and you're going to save your money, from building another, another church. But both very, very small towns, and again, a lot of people have lived there their entire lives.
And it was farming that she left, meaning I know she had a farm, they had a farm.
Yes.
But primarily that's where the town was.
Yes, there's no, in fact, there's no industry to speak of there as right now. Most people will take the train. There's a train that you can take from Karlsruhe, and almost like a trolley, really, like a very, very light rail train that stops at Flettingen. And most people who live there and commute into Karlsruhe for their occupation now.
And what type of food?
What type of food?
Yeah. What would their regional cuisine be more like?
I was served a lovely breaded chicken cutlet and cauliflower and cookies for dessert. And it was very, so yeah, I don't know that that's indicative of anything, but you're a food person. Yeah, the chicken was delightfully prepared. It was light.
Is the farm still there? Someone obviously is what she came from still there?
No, this would be, probably a cousin of our collective ancestors, the Seidenspinner children, your great-grandparents. They still live in the original house that the family have lived in for 150 or so years. But obviously, this would be his brother's family, and they did not know where the Edward Seidenspinner family resided in the town.
So that part of Germany is very close to the French.
Oh, okay.
It's in the southern part of Germany. Just, I want to say, I'm not sure. I just know it's southern Germany and probably 10 miles.
Yeah, I brought a map of Germany. It's up here, and I'd be happy to show you where Karlsruhe is and where Flettingen and Sickingen are. Very interesting. The importance of family stories. Alfred Epp, who was married to a Seidenspinner, brought me to the church in Sickingen, and he had keys available, places that I would not have been able to go had I just visited without letting him know that I was coming. And the Sickingen church was built 900 AD, and it's known as the Knights Church because there are knights from the Crusades from Sickingen that are buried there. And it was very interesting, the story he told. He said the story obviously had been told for over 1,000 years, that one of the knights that was buried there, when they laid him out, the dog that he had, I guess, gone to the Crusades with or whatever, would not leave his side, and they finally made the decision to close the crypt, encasing the dog in the crypt with the knight because they could not get the dog out. Now, he said, we thought, is that a folklore kind of a thing that's been passed on? And in the 1960s, when they redid the altar of the church in Sickingen, there was a Saturday afternoon. He said that he was a boy of about 15 years old and went into the church, filed past the altar with all of the remains underneath exposed, and he said in his German, I see for myself with my own eyes, there are the bones of the knight, and up next to his head, there are the bones of the dog. Which really was fascinating to me that kind of a story had been passed on for 1,000 years in the town and turned out to be true. I was also taken to what's known as the Knight's Tower, which is about 6 miles from Flettingen and Sickingen. It's a tall tower, also built in the 900s, from which you can see 20 miles away on another hill, a similar tower. 20 miles this way, another tower. And that's how they would communicate that enemies were coming, with a flame. And the people of Flettingen and Sickingen, through the years, built a tunnel. It's a 6-mile long tunnel, stone. And there's a picture of it. I went into it. A stone tunnel from Flettingen and Sickingen, large enough for a man to ride his horse through. That the people of the town were able to escape to this tower, and it sits on a hill with a surrounding stone wall when enemies came, and completely underground, completely done in a stone arch as a means of protection, during the 900s and the 1000s and the 1100s. So a pretty interesting area. So, anything else? Yes, ma'am.
My mother wants me to tell the story. Otherwise, I would. When Francesca Seidenspinner
Yeah.
I would like everybody to hear it.
You know it's starting to go.
It's
It's in your book. When Francisca Seidenspinner Bartscher died, she died very young. My father, J. Gerard Bartscher, was 6. And his recollection was she had been ill his entire life. She had a Great Dane, telling the story of the dog, because it was so difficult for her to move around. She used the Great Dane as a cane. She would lean on the Great Dane and it would help her walk. And the day they carried her casket out of the house, the Great Dane left with the casket. He was never seen again.
Wow.
So, I guess we're a dog family.
What's your dog? What's keep your eye on your dog?
Okay. Any other questions? Well, great. It's great to see all of you. Again, if you would please consider the things that I've asked in terms of autobiographies or family stories, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to be in contact, please give me either an address or an email address, even a phone number, and I would appreciate that as well. It's not my goal to be a pest. It's my goal to be in touch with you to the extent that you're interested in family history and participating. So thank you for coming, and reconnect, pass those pictures, tell the stories, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thanks very much.